You said Punisher is better than Parasite, so I don't know what to think of you anymore.
So good.
Yeah, I wouldn't give it a better score, but I would say in that moment.
No, you just said
I was
Punisher is better
I said I would
than
pick
Parasite.
Punisher over Parasite.
Yeah, that's saying.
That doesn't know what that means.
Yes, it does.
That means in that moment, if asked, okay.
Yes, it does.
He said he would rather watch the Punisher right
I mean,
then.
that's what our bracket was to decide, right? What we wanted to watch right then.
Right then.
Exactly.
No.
Right then.
I can watch JoJo right now, actually.
Always.
Stands by it.
I'm ready.
Throw it on.
Put it on.
That is.
Prove it. Oh, so you wouldn't watch Whiplash right now?
I don't know how Whiplash got its number 2. I am still it kept.
Yeah, I
being
gotta
like
work out that system
it
to be
kept
a little
going.
less.
It kept going.
influenced by
You two, me, and then Mace was like, I guess I kind of go Whiplash, and then I was like, I put all my money on Whiplash. And you're like, okay.
Yeah. Oh, you got this one to show for you now. Well, and you know what?
It was his movie.
I think it was a good tiebreaker system, all things considered, because it
all things considered, it actually went smooth.
Yeah. All right. You're all welcome. I had to think of the whole thing, but from scratch. Jeez.
You were sweating.
I made it better though.
Oh, I don't know about that. But 1, 2, 3, clap, sing. Ah! Gotcha! New season, new clap saints. Welcome to another obnoxious episode of the F Movie Podcast. We're your hosts, Bryce, Mason, Dylan, and Nathan. Ran a little bit out of breath on that one.
Just like this movie.
What movie?
Guns Akimbo.
That's
week.
a good reference.
Yeah,
that's a good reference.
The long-winded, fast-paced reality show.
Asthmatic.
Asthmatic. What?
But only whenever it's convenient plot-wise.
That's true.
Indeed.
Only about 2 to 3 times they didn't want to overuse it. Yeah.
This is such a poorly written movie.
So Guns Akimbo. Now my assumption is that there's a man with 2 guns.
2 guns,
but
right?
Can you tell me more about this plot?
Well, if you must know, it's about a man.
If you have to know.
It's about a man who's kind of sort of down on his luck. He's working at an office job that he really doesn't care much for. So he gets drunk one night and just basically starts trolling the internet on the comment section and gets trolled back, and miraculously they show up at his door that night, kick the door down, and strap some guns onto his hands. Bolts and all.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure was Nathan's favorite part. Seeing all of that weird infected hand stuff. Not so bad?
That doesn't really bother me so much.
Good.
That didn't really... No.
Yeah. Well, so it turns out there's Schism is this big organization that puts on these 1v1 matches with random people all over the world.
Death matches.
Well,
death matches.
And they're not completely
Real
random.
world live stream death
Yeah.
They've signed up for it.
Yeah.
90% of the time it was Nyx versus somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Played by Samara Weaving, who it took me way too long to realize it was Samara Weaving.
They did her
I don't
so
know who
wrong.
that is.
Yeah.
She's in Ready or Not. She's in
Ready or Not. She's Margot Robbie's discount actress copy.
They look really similar.
Yeah, but that's because they do.
So you feel like her character was done wrong in this?
No.
Wow.
Samara Weaving is a gorgeous human being, and they made her the opposite.
Yeah,
that's the thing I liked about it. They
The
made
makeup
her
and
a cracked out.
Yeah, they make
lunatic.
A bit of trivia, real quick, since you said that.
Okay.
Alright.
Since she was in this character, on set for quite a while, she would actually go out into public for a couple days after after the finish, after the filming was done for the day. And evidently they would refuse service at restaurants. She was getting all kinds of stares and everything. But yeah, she would just go out in character just because.
All you have to do is shave your eyebrows. That's it, and not actually draw them back on.
Metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know. She had metal teeth at some point.
That seems like her aesthetic.
She had metal fangs.
Yeah, she had the fangs on.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm for that aesthetic or not. I remember looking at her and I'm like, makeup is clearly making her putting her way down on purpose. That's the aesthetic it's going for. But I'm normally into a little bit of a horror babe look. But something about when they shave eyebrows, ladies, draw them back on.
So she's not in the beginning of the movie, and I want to start at the beginning.
She's the through line throughout. But yeah, at the beginning he trolls effectively Evil Fight Club.
Oh, before that, the whole first 15 minutes are completely narrated by Daniel Radcliffe the whole time.
That part, yeah.
It was grating on my nerves. For the whole time he's just talking.
It is weird hearing his voice not being Harry Potter in the first second.
I thought the stylistic choice to have him narrating the whole time and just expo dumping and not showing you anything, just him telling you.
It's been a while since I've watched Fight Club, but I wonder how much you can draw parallels to this in Fight Club, because Fight Club opened up with a whole lot of like narrating,
just
about
a monologue,
flash cap. Hey, this is how I got here. Narration, flashback to it.
Yeah.
I mean, super cliche in that way, but yeah, I don't know. Edward Norton's voice is a little easier on the ears than Daniel Radcliffe's. I think in this.
It just sounded like super bubbly. Like it was
did.
kind of weird.
It sounded too Michael Cera-y.
Just like a very like
Hey, just popping in.
Like,
hey,
this crazy story. This thing just kind of happened to me.
Right.
And
yeah.
Funniest thing, guys.
But Fight Club's like trying like to blur the lines between like who's who, because like at the end you find out they're the same person. Like that's why the narration's happening, because he's questioning his identity, and they're not doing it in this movie. It's just them just telling you everything you need to know about this movie rather than just showing you.
So let me ask you this real quick.
You go on.
Did the first 15 minutes of this movie put you off any more than the last 75% of this movie?
No, the first 15 minutes show you the whole style that this movie is going for, and I was put off from the very get-go.
So it was worse than anything else in this movie?
No, I just think it was all bad.
I just wanted to hear you say it, because the first 15 minutes was like nothing compared to the rest of this movie.
Right. Follow-up question. You know, you're frustrated by the tell not show, but then they get to showing us.
Yeah, they really show you.
And does it win you over, or is it?
No.
Are you on board?
Because I got so sick of how they used the camera this entire movie. Like, they thought that they hit gold with them turning the camera, like, doing the 360, like,
every
the
time
turning
that
shot.
happened, I was like, Price is hating.
Yeah, no, I thought
because
the same
they
thing.
think they hit gold, and they did it, like, 6 times. Like, when Daniel Radcliffe took, like, a head injury or something, like, let's put you in that and him. We thought of turning the camera like this. And
like, I do agree with that in particular. Like, I think it's a little... I don't know, to me it just feels kind of stupid to be like, oh, let's make you feel like you're, in the character's shoes, because that's what it's like to be dizzy.
The first person.
For your view of the world to be flipping end over end. Like,
even the part where, like, he's taking a piss first thing in the morning, and it's just like I don't need to, I mean, like...
I'll come back to that scene for my spoilers.
I bet you will.
Yeah, you already know.
But yeah, it was just like, I don't know, so I have jotted down on here that it had like Gamer, Repo Man, Upgrade, Death Race, Crank. This movie, you want to talk about a parallel? Crank. This movie was Crank.
You know what this movie is besides Crank?
What's that?
Scott Pilgrim.
You mean Scott Pilgrim?
Hey, you got it on
I didn't want to say it because I thought it was least like Scott Pilgrim.
No, I think like the main character feels like Scott in his journey, just now it's in an R-rated Crank.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely not a PG-13.
Yeah, it's Scott Pilgrim dropped into Crank, effectively. Yeah.
No, this movie was definitely jarring. Front to back.
You don't wipe back to front.
Can we have that conversation again?
Check out our review, whatever that one was.
I think my main issue with this movie was just like you talked about convenience earlier.
Uh-huh.
This movie was full of convenience and inconvenience.
I'm gonna help Mason with this one. You go ahead.
Was it because Nix could hit every single target at the beginning?
I wrote that down.
But she couldn't hit him worth a damn.
Like they're this close, and she's just like.
And he doesn't know how to shoot a gun at all. Yet he manages to get by pretty well too.
At the end,
when he switches on God mode and is just like killing everybody. He's like, oh yeah, I'm fine with killing. Like I love killing. It's my favorite.
It was something I was also kind of thinking too. Like, wouldn't it have been funny if they had like mounted the guns just slightly crooked or something?
Yeah,
just to make it even harder.
The barrel side slightly to the left or right. Okay, that actually would have been a funny like little intro thing to it.
But go back to Mason's point. Movie of conveniences. Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, this movie doesn't care about being grounded or realistic.
No, and you're supposed to be on board from the beginning or get the hell off the wagon. Because
it's like just enjoy the joyride, or you're just not gonna have fun.
Which every movie that I mentioned earlier is the exact same way. Like Repo Man is the exact same way. Where like this movie kind of ticked me off just because like this didn't even set a date. Like this wasn't even in like a
miscellaneous modern day.
Yes, it was like, oh, here's the bad suburb of New York, I guess. I don't know. Like it doesn't have any like, oh, for hundreds of years, blah blah blah, the purge.
After 10,000 years.
Yeah, maybe not that many, but yeah.
I feel like it's something that could be very contemporary.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it could, and
maybe that's
it could be right now.
Right, that's true, and that's like
the thing I wonder with something like that is, how long do you think a just online streamed death match could go on before it gets shut down?
2 kills.
5 minutes.
It's just awfully sure about that.
I know. I've done my research.
I don't know. I feel like it is kind of possible that something like this could be done.
Yes.
Like in today's
I know,
world.
and the movie like really showed us the blackness of society by continually going to the people who
I think the term
watched
you're looking
it,
for is the darkness of society.
Oh shit, bro!
It's like I was so sick of
So I
seeing
didn't
those
view that
audience.
stuff that way. I thought that was just literally like popping back to the audience with recurring characters.
No,
Right.
it's just wanting to show that like messed up people don't care. Like
they don't
what's on the
care.
internet, like it doesn't affect them. It doesn't matter. Like when Miles found the girl to like help him on the computer or something, she was like, "You're like awesome" or whatever. Like go kill some people, and then he's on there and he's like, I'm a person.
You dumb
I need
bitches,
help."
and they're like,
And
ah,
she's
no,
like,
she's
"Yeah, you're entertainment, man. Like that's how we view the media, man." And it's like
So, but
this movie is so preachy with that, and it's just the fact that it thinks it hits gold with so much, and it just keeps hammering that point all the time. Just
I think with that
so
model though,
annoying.
you could make that about anything though. You could say that this is people's oppression of women. You could say that this is about it's one of those so X-Men is a great example of sitting there and saying it is ambiguously every minority being mistreated. Like X-Men in comics is always going to be representative of either racial or homosexual or it's whatever's trending.
Sure.
In
they can
minority.
fit into any kind
Right,
of...
in the same way, I feel like it's one of those skeleton things you can just apply to anything with it.
no, this is not a skeleton. This is a full-grown obese American man because it is shoving the fact that people are viewing media and not seeing the people inside of it as people.
That's like
and
this
it
much
beats
of it.
Right. No, it is not.
Yeah,
It shows the audience watching it
this
so
was
much,
appropriate.
and it even has them as minor characters because, like, when Miles goes into that one place and hits shoulders with the one guy who's been watching it, and then the guy's like, "You're Miles" or whatever. I'm like,
Dude,
who the hell's this guy? He's
have
just
you-
been watching Schism.
Have you seen Nerve or like Spree on Hulu? Like some of these movies
No.
that they've literally the same thing. They just keep panning to people like watching it and like all these likes, these thumbs up that are going on the screen. Like I don't even think it's. I don't know. That was like such a side plot in this whole thing. Like was the people.
But it takes up
watching
so
it.
much time when I really feel like it didn't need to.
Maybe I mean.
I liked it. I like the callback kind of stuff
Yeah.
where they keep looping back around to
'Cause
them.
you saw-
I
You like
Alright.
seeing the de-evolution, and consistency.
well, and
of
seeing
things,
like the like opening of everybody just laughing at how terrible he is,
Yep.
and then starting to root for him
Yep.
and that sort of
and
stuff.
then mad when he's
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
Kind of like an uprising at the very end.
All right, hold on, Price. There's at least one part that I'm like, this is a part that Price actually may like. Daniel Radcliffe trying to eat the hot dog with the homeless guy. Did you laugh? Don't lie. Did you laugh? Oh, come on, you're gonna get it. Oh, it's on the ground,
Don't
and it's
know
next to
about
the
it.
used condom. It's like,
Oh yeah, and then he's like, the homeless guy's like, I've had that in there for weeks.
Weeks,
So,
yeah.
For like over a month.
Well, probably
glad to
one
get
or
rid of
two.
it.
Yeah.
yeah, it really is. It's the taquito.
Don't you do that?
It is. It's the same.
Don't you compare that to a
It's the
10?
same humor.
Since
Same
we're
humor.
like pointing out phrases that we think people will like, Dylan, I know you laughed at the fact that she got her fingers chopped
You
off.
knew exactly which one I
And then
did.
she said, "Well, looks like Friday night got a little more lonely."
Yeah.
I will say there's like 3 lines I laughed
That
at.
was ridiculous.
It's that one, and then there was what was it? I'm gonna get so mad for not remembering it. I hate that I didn't.
That
take
was
it
the
down.
only one I.
There was
quoted
one
on
little
here.
like punny one where it's like it's hammer time.
Yeah. The
Oh,
He-Man.
yeah,
Right,
place.
so I was gonna say like talking about you referencing the whole like finger thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was gonna say like, and then 5 seconds after that, it delivers a bunch of shitty like cringy lines.
No, it is. It peaks and immediately
I
plummets.
hate like that whole part where
Which
they're
part?
fighting the minions of
Yeah.
the main guy.
Oh,
They're
the
in the
mini
main
bosses.
tower.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yes.
part drug down and
Yes, it
ruined
did.
what was otherwise a really great tempo that
Truthfully.
they were going with.
Yeah.
For sure.
I like that is the thing that has like pulled this thing back by like a point on its own.
Mm.
Just I
Damn.
hated those scenes.
Yeah. No, it was as close as this movie gets to a peak, and like there was definitely like I think two of my 3 like hits like for humor or at least entertainment value moments were like in that fight with the hammer guy, and it was just like him doing it. And I was like, all right, first of all, if you're getting hit with a hammer, they're not making this hit like effectively, and I get it, but like I can only suspend so much belief with that.
Yeah.
And then it was. Yeah, that line with the finger one, I was just like, alright,
I
that was
see
good.
you.
That was
Yeah.
good. That was good. But him saying it's hammer time, I was like, I did oddly get like a
that's
fine.
Like all the characters in there too.
Yeah.
My favorite moment was just the homeless guy and like them cutting to him like as though he's watching the screen.
He's watching nothing. It's just an empty screen. That's like that. Yeah.
Like whatever they find, because they cut to him a couple of times like acting as though he's like following what's going on, and then eventually they cut back to him and show him like just like beating on that empty television.
Yeah.
And
like the
that I thought was funny. Like his character through most of it, I thought was pretty good.
Just a rando. Like I thought it was gonna like tie back into like, oh yeah, he's
like what's his face from John Wick. He's Lawrence Fishburne.
Godfather. Character.
Well, if this gets a sequel, it'll probably will be like the Lawrence Fishburne of John Wick.
They set it up like they were gonna get one.
Yeah.
Not with Nick's though.
Which is kind of ironic that Nick's rip. That Guns Akimbo, a movie that has 2 in it, is not getting a sequel. And it's just the irony is not lost on me.
I do want to mention my biggest hate of this movie is that one of the tropes I hate the most in movies is the trope of one conversation can fix the entire movie. And they just talked around it and did not do that the whole time.
What's the conversation?
Both of these I can think of is when Miles, when he gets the guns on his hands and he goes out in public and he sees the cops, and all he says is, I'm not gonna shoot. There's something going on.
He could get out of this.
All you have to do is just like have his arms in his jacket and just say like, "Hey, I have guns that have been stapled to my hands. I need help. Please help me." But instead, he just waves them around in the middle of town like a crazy person.
They can write that off too. Like if it had gone that way, there was corruption in the police force.
Right. But
that's
see,
true,
so it feels
they were tied to the police.
It feels right. So it feels like they kind of foolproof it to be like critique proof, but at the same time, I'm with you that it's like it's kind of annoying that he didn't try in the first place.
But he didn't try it in a way that makes sense.
Read the room. You have 2 guns.
And when he's in the car with his ex-girlfriend,
that was the one I was thinking.
And says, "Don't freak out when I show you
and
this."
And then she freaks out.
She
goes, "Okay." Pepper sprays. And
he brings out 2 Uzis in her car. I can understand why he didn't say like, "Hey, I got kidnapped. They stapled these guns to my hands. Like, I need help." And so he just instead does that, and I was just...
We don't even bat an eye at that in the South. We're like, okay, so what's the problem?
So you're a Glock guy. Okay,
right,
I used to have one.
You're like, I'm more of a 34 myself, but like...
And right after he runs into the cops with the guns on his hands or whatever, and the cops start shooting at him, justifiably, and he runs off, and then the cop starts chasing him, and as the cop's chasing him, I wrote it down, he said, the cop yells, "I'm gonna shoot." I was like, he's already been shooting. He already was shooting. Like, what does it matter if he fires now?
Maybe he's supposed to, like, give some kind of further warning.
After already firing?
No.
Well, at this point...
That's the most disbelievable thing about the cops in this movie.
The person with the guns is running away from him.
Yeah.
So he'd be shooting the guy in the back.
Yeah.
Body cams running around. I don't buy it. No accountability.
There's only 2019.
There's no... The writing in this movie is Game of Thrones final season bad.
Whoa. No, this is Game of Thrones season 7 bad.
No, I think you're at certain points in this movie, Price, you're acting like this is supposed to be a Parasite level, like...
That is not what I'm asking.
It's true. This is what Price
I'm asking for a bare minimum, just good writing, and none of it, in my opinion, is.
Oh, I will say it's annoying that Nick's didn't just blow up him and his ex-girlfriend in the car.
Then,
Clear shot. Plenty of time in the world.
Oh, he had all the shots in the world to take at Nick's too, by the way. Like in the apartment complex. Like,
she's traumatized by the fire.
Yeah,
and
the fire scene.
Gat, baby. Like, sorry. All right, well, I'm out. But yeah, I think they probably know at that point. He's like, I'm not really out. They're never gonna.
A lot of ungrounded moments in this movie, which as a whole, it's a ton of shit piled up, and that's not good. Like, it's just a lot of. But again, like you said, you kind of get on board or get off early on.
If you're on the ride, it's a lot of good visuals, fun lighting, chaotic battles.
The pop-up on the screen, kind of like the Scott Pilgrim stuff, video game style, like the number.
Yeah, the number of bullets in the gun.
That was cool.
But we also haven't talked about the music, and I really like the music. All the like techno remixes of old songs.
Yeah, that's something I really should have thought that you were gonna like on that one. I would catch it every now and again. I'd be like, this is kind of fun. But I feel like that my curse of it is that it's drowned out by the stuff that I didn't like. And I gotta talk about the very simple but very important thing that this movie really loses me on. and that is the spray and pray action. And I know I've said this a bajillion times. John Wick has ruined this whole franchise of gun shooting in movies since then. But good God, 95% of these bullets miss their targets.
Miss.
Yeah,
for sure.
Miss painfully.
It was so like when Nyx is on top of the trash pile with a minigun,
with a
aimed at everybody,
gun,
and she doesn't hit hardly anyone, and she's just
group of lemmings. Just no, there is frustration.
It's very comic book-esque.
It is.
That's
like,
what Harley Quinn would do.
It is, and that's
it's
like you're just like
they knew what they were doing.
And that's the vibe that I
it is.
And
I would have been fine with it on that, but whenever this movie is 80% gun shooting and most of those gunshots are missing, or if they are hitting, they're not feeling impactful. That's like those are my two biggest frustrations.
The part where Nyx is like being shown off as being competent, where she's like going
blasting through that warehouse,
that whole whole drug den, like that.
I liked it. I liked that.
Yeah, that was a whole lot of like.
But then right after that, she's got miles like this.
Yeah,
and she's like.
So you know what? I'm agreeing. The convenience factor is insane, but I will say that every time that she misses him and like he gets away, or like I kind of see that as like toying. She is like this alpha.
That's
hunter,
how I
right?
see it most of the time. Is like she doesn't want to just kill this guy.
Yeah. She's not running.
She takes the fun out of it.
Kind of fight.
She is not running after him.
Yeah.
She's just like, all right, and then she like just walks, and then he shows up at the park with a freaking bazooka. All right, well, it looks like I'll get him on the next time. Like she just keeps popping up. So
I'll agree
to that credit.
To narratively, it makes sense to a certain degree for like the toying with the prey thing, but from a viewer watching a movie standpoint, it's incredibly.
We've never seen her toy with her prey in any of her previous kills.
You only saw one kill.
No.
And it was the very end with the car.
We saw the very beginning, the car one.
Opens
That's what I meant
with her understanding that he's a nobody. Like
right, like maybe there's a thrill
fight. She goes into the police station. She finds out that he has no criminal record. She shows up at his apartment, sees that he's a massive nerd, and it's just like, why is this my target?
Touch some grass, buddy. Touch some grass. But yeah, I mean, so to your point, right? The music or whatever, it would catch on, and I would hit it. I'd be like, yeah, that's a little fun. It's like a little techno remix. But then it would be drowned out by the sounds of gunshots missing. And I just remember thinking, like, God dang it, dude! The one time I wanted to enjoy something from it, it's getting drowned out by the action.
As you like to say, it was an assault on the senses for me.
Yeah,
it was an assault I like.
I feel like I don't like it whenever you quote me pretentiously.
Yeah,
you make it sound retroactively like I'm being extra.
Well, you've got assault on the senses and buffet of bland.
Yeah,
and this was not that one.
No, this was not a buffet of bland. I will give it that. It was a hot dog with mustard on it.
Off the ground.
I will say it took me longer than I cared.
It was a nice glizzy on the ground.
It was. It took me longer than I cared to admit that there was a used condom next to it. I just kept thinking, ugh, fucking mustard on a hot dog on the ground. And then like I saw the used condom and I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, Price fucking loves that though. I don't care what he says. I'm like, he laughed at that. Like that's okay.
Alright, I have a question.
Yeah.
If you guys had to watch, and I want each answer separately, this, Sucker Punch, or Promare, which one are you guys watching?
You go first.
This. I like Sucker Punch for its like artistic kind of values, but Guns Akimbo is such a fast-paced, like, again, the music, the visuals, it's just like, it's moving.
It's a video game, like, with
all
the right parts. Yeah.
Like, we haven't really talked about it in that sense, but yeah, it's very video game-esque in the way it presents. If it weren't for that, like, mini-boss duo
Breakdown,
towards the end that I think really just tripped over the whole tempo of things, this movie would be very high for me.
Did you like Nyx talking to her about the AA-12s, though?
That was kind of.
It was like breaking the fourth wall just a little bit.
I feel like I don't know if it needed more time or less time in general dealing with those two, because the girl with the twin guns, she does a little bit of shooting and then it cuts to like her just standing on top of him almost. Right. Yeah. And it's just like, I feel like there should have been a little bit more of what the hell happened
how he got
to
on the
understand
ground.
This and maybe appreciate it instead of thinking it was stupid.
There's definitely other stuff that could get cut to make that make sense too.
Yeah.
What was
Promare, Sucker Punch, or this?
There we go. Yeah, Sucker Punch.
I'm picking Sucker Punch.
Waifu Simulator, easy.
Promare, in my opinion, is at least 5 points better.
Oh my gosh, no
both of those
Shut
movies.
up.
I think
Sucker Punch has a
not
better
combined.
soundtrack and better visuals. And I'm not left blind after one.
Dude, Sucker Punch has a phenomenal soundtrack. It's so good.
It is
Promare
so
does
good.
too. I still listen to that soundtrack.
Fire! I don't even know if there's a soundtrack. I think it's just that.
It's
on
just
loop.
pew.
It is.
Yeah.
There-
Okay.
it is.
So.
Okay, if you like it so much, that was on my top 10 of Spotify. Those
Get
songs
out.
were
What songs? It's just a guy yelling fire and passion.
Gallant Ones and Infernal.
He made those up.
No, I'll show you.
I don't
No,
know.
I don't want to hear him. I don't want to hear it. Anyway.
No, I'm not gonna.
So
play
what's the movie choice here? Promare, right?
Yeah, he picked
No,
that.
Okay. Just make it. I give him a chance to redeem himself.
Did so you know
No.
what was a little bit jarring for the whole tempo of this movie, like leading all the way up to the Adam.
It's right there. Top
Okay.
5 right there.
That's
Don't
fair.
be stingy's number 1.
Of course, it's not.
I
At the very end, when he like dies, you know, quote unquote,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, this is me bleeding out. This is what happens when your brain does this, yada yada. I don't
Yeah.
get the girl. And then he's just fine.
Yeah. And then
He's
I guess you could
Okay.
wait. So you're saying that he was dying, and then through magic, Daniel Radcliffe got back up and saved the day. It's a Harry Potter
Voldemort-
reference.
Oh.
It's a Harry
Anybody
Potter
paying
reference.
close attention? Did he have a little thunderbolt
he
on
might
his
have.
forehead?
Yeah.
he had homeless hair.
I
the
should have
whole
looked
time.
that close.
That's true. As a big Harry Potter fan and Wizard Children fan, if you download the Spanish version torrents on accident, then yeah.
The wizard door.
Yeah, El Huerta Puebla. I will say that that's a good Harry Potter callback, and I appreciate for its time. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're
But I
welcome.
did think that was a little bit like, come on, like you guys,
Yeah,
could
just-
you guys could have put a different type of icing on this cake.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, he definitely could have died, and that
Yeah.
they did, like you said, they kind of left it open to like, oh, maybe there's some
Yeah.
more.
Right.
I don't know why there would
Here's
be.
the list of an
Which-
Excel sheet of all these names that I have to basically Bruce Wayne.
Which is
Yeah.
actually just Scott Pilgrim again, then too, because Scott Pilgrim loses to Gideon at the end, and then he has to one up and come back, and he gets the self-respect sword, and then has to fight him all over again.
I can't wait to watch
This-
that movie again
man,
on this
this-
wheel.
Oh my
It's
god.
on Netflix.
I'll watch it.
I'm gonna put it on this wheel one
Do
day.
it on this
I-
wheel.
it's gonna be probably me.
Cool.
Sounds like something
That's
I would
fine.
do.
I've never watched it.
Oh,
It's so
I
bad.
think you would like it.
I think you'd
you
really
would
like
really
it.
like
I
it.
mean, yeah, it's one of those.
Have you ever
ones
seen
that,
a video
like,
game High School?
No.
Oh, okay, it was
That
a
movie
show.
sucks.
It was a show for like
Have
2
you guys ever
seasons.
seen Volcano High? Anyway, Fat Thin Perfectly Fit?
Yeah.
Yeah, in this segment we talk about the shape of the movie. Is it fat, is it thin, or is it perfectly fit? Nathan.
It's maybe a smidge fat, or maybe a smidge thin.
Hmm.
I don't know. Like it really just comes back to just the two lackeys at the end.
Oh my god.
Like they.
If that's the worst thing you can say.
That is the thing that has like just thrown a wrench into what was otherwise a very fluid movie, minus the whole flipping camera thing.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That was stupid every time it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll absolutely give that,
Mm-hmm.
but the whole rest of it, I was good.
This movie's fat. I wish it wasn't. It's got a good runtime for like what it should be.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what's on screen and what they do. At one point, they're going on about like Nix's dad, and they just blast him. They don't even give that the amount of time I feel like it should for the gravity of the narrative of it.
He wasn't gonna make it anyway. He was the only straight
I know
cop.
he wasn't, and I know they're gonna kill him.
Yeah.
He was not a straight cop.
Nix's dad?
No.
He
Could-
was very willing to bend the rules.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well,
To
it,
get
it,
his
it
daughter.
made
Bend
it
to get
look
his
like
daughter,
his
but not
assistant
necessarily corrupt.
was
just
like the
dirty
bad
Harry.
He was working
Yeah.
for like the bad dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy is like, it's the difference between clearly evil and morally gray, right?
Well,
Like,
sure,
yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I remember thinking like, man, I really feel like they just did, they had to give an excuse for Nix to get on board with it, so they had to film this. But if you're gonna do it, do it. Don't half-ass and just jam it in like it's like a DLC that they didn't care about. That's how I felt about it, and I think that part was symbolic of just the many things where I was like, ran too long, not long enough, ran too long, condom, fingers,
Fingers, that was a big one.
yeah, hammer time. Ironically, I'm on the other end of you on that one. That's one of my better parts of the movie is the henchman fight. So we're looking at two different things, but yeah, bad.
I think this movie was actually kind of fit just for like what it was, and I try not to take too much away from it. I actually had as much fun watching this movie and thinking all of these callbacks to all of these other movies. The death race aspect of like some of the car chases, that's the only like vibe that I got from that. I'm sorry, I just kept seeing Jason Statham fucking just doing like what's it called, like the nose spray, trying to get adrenaline pumped up, because in that movie like his heart would stop beating like if he didn't keep his adrenaline up.
That'll be Guns Trinity whenever he does the boss there.
Do you like Crank or this better?
Have you ever seen it?
I like Crank so much.
Dude, Crank, he bangs a chick in the middle of the crowd, and I kind of wonder if
against a mailbox.
Yeah.
These movies are identical to me.
But Crank, I think style works a lot better.
It's also
but they don't show Jason Statham's dick in Crank that I recall.
Did they actually show it?
No, it looked like a little hot dog.
It's a 3-second prosthetic. I definitely did slow it down and go back and double check on it.
It looked like a little flimsy.
But it was a good looking prosthetic, so that
it was like just enough to be like that was just a dick.
If you think I didn't say hold up, pause, slow mo, rewind, pause, penis.
Hannah, get in here.
Yeah, Hannah, does this look like? Who's it look like? Yeah, you know. Anyway, yeah.
It's fit for me. I had as much fun thinking about all these other movies that they definitely stole some of these styles from.
Yeah.
Because like if you've ever seen Upgrade, you're talking about camera flipping. There's literally movies where like a guy or Upgrade.
I want to watch Upgrade.
Dude, it's so good. At some point, like he has like a new arm or he like upgrades it and it goes and like the camera goes with it and it's just like an all out like it looks like a video game sequence.
Have you ever seen the Doom movie? And the end of it where it goes in the first person.
I haven't. I know like what you're talking about that clip,
Yeah.
but I've never seen it. Okay.
Yeah.
It's got The Rock in it.
Yeah.
He's the main
it's The Rock.
character.
That was like one of his like first big huge breaks, wasn't it?
Between that and Scorpion King, he was on a roll for those
movie
movies. CG Fiesta.
Oh yeah.
Price.
This movie's extremely fat, and you want to know why? And
I
why these three agree with me? Because there are two main characters that are pretty prominent in this movie that none of them have mentioned.
I don't like her at all.
The bad guy and the girlfriend.
Yeah, we don't care about that.
You all just like haven't talked about it. No plot relevance.
The girlfriend.
I meant
The
Nyx.
ex-girlfriend.
I meant Nyx. I hated her, and I didn't care to
Oh, I
see
like
her
Nyx.
succeed
I like Nyx.
Yeah.
or
It's like
fail.
Harley Quinn Light. It's exactly
I
what
thought
they
you
knew
were going
exactly
for
what they
that.
were doing
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Where like at the end, it didn't matter for me if she lived or died.
I'm just saying,
the
like,
ex-girlfriend didn't matter
like
at all.
they had their own side plot that no one has mentioned.
Well,
Because no, I don't want any butts, nuts, or coconuts.
it's incredibly.
Nobody
important,
has
too.
said anything
Yeah,
about
okay.
it. They haven't said a positive. They haven't said a negative. So like, it just doesn't need to be there. It's totally irrelevant. It doesn't matter. She's just there to play the whiny ex-girlfriend.
No, she's pretty.
She doesn't do anything. No,
But she doesn't do
Again,
any topless scenes, though. You're
there's
right. That's
nothing-
my critique on it.
it's fat.
Oh, she'd probably be better with a butt
And
scene.
for that, I'm
Yeah.
gonna roll into my score. This movie's. It's almost a 1.
Oh my
but I'm
god!
gonna give
Just
it a,
go ahead.
I'm gonna
0.5.
I'm giving it a
1.5.
1.5.
Okay.
No, I'll say give it a 0.5. Go lower.
Just because at least it's
I
action.
want to see how many zeros we can get in the season now.
that are all my movies.
It's certainly not a 0, but
Mm.
I didn't enjoy my time with this movie at all. I mean,
Wow.
it's just so inconsistent in what it's trying to do that I think it fails in every category. I think its style misses in every way with how it uses its camera, the dialogue's not even good, it's not funny. And it just has these over embellishments like the Hammer Time segment where it just completely takes you out of what's supposed to be a climactic moment. Even though you know the bad guy's going to lose in that scenario, it just completely takes me out because I'm just too busy laughing at the screen to care what's going on.
So it did get a laugh.
Because it's
right?
I knew it.
Because-
I told him.
because the movie's a bygone conclusion. You know how it's going to end. Nothing's going to surprise
Well,
you.
most movies are like that. Brian.
No, that's
I think
not.
we all knew how Titanic was going to go.
That's
Yeah.
That's not the point, and I'm not looking for arguments on this. This movie sucks. Just the wildly inconsistent. Like Nyx is a sniper with a pistol from a 1,000 meters away, but when she's half
She had 37 kills.
half an arm from miles, she just starts shooting at the air and just can't hit them. I hated this movie. It was not a good time. So
What if they showed her being
1.5.
allergic to a cat and she just happened to rub him and then she was sneezing and then she missed
Achoo!
Yeah, 222 blast blast. Would you find it relatable and give it a 2 for that reason?
You'd say,
yeah,
I
it
get
goes
it.
to a 10.
I get it.
Knew it. See, our scales are right. Yours is the silly one.
Silly goose.
Could be.
Uh-huh.
But that's how I feel about it. I had strong feelings.
I want to go. That way we can end on a good
Go
note.
for it.
But you're supposed to.
Nah, no. I'm gonna,
all right.
for as little of fun as I had with this movie, I can only really give it a 5.5. I don't think that it's like, it's not, of all of those movies that I listed earlier, it's nowhere near like the top 3 or top 5 of those. I think that it's the lower tier, and I wish it had been a little bit more original. But for what it wasn't so bad. What did you say the runtime was, or did you? Maybe an hour and a half?
I don't think you said
a little under 97 minutes.
Something like that. I don't think that it's too long. I mean, I don't know. That's all I got. 5.5. I thought that this movie was better, but I remembered it differently.
That feels about right. It's in
97.
Man, I'm good.
Or 95. Sorry.
Damn.
You suck.
I fucking suck. 120 seconds off the runtime. Yeah, man. I don't know. This feels like a movie that deserves to be a 5 for a lot of reasons.
Doesn't it? Doesn't it?
It's not falling.
But then it has that prosthetic, and he's gonna bump it up to another half.
And you already know, buddy. So here's the thing: this movie gets 3 laughs out of me, so it's a better comedy than some of the comedies we've watched on this show. The action is all pretty trash, but they also showed. Allegedly, Daniel Radcliffe's penis.
That is not his penis.
Well, you know what? Well,
you don't know that.
They took the effort to show a penis, and it's pissing
did.
Everywhere, and it's uncircumcised, which makes sense because he's from across the pond, and they probably don't do that as often over there. So for all the accuracy of that, I can't give it any less than a 6 for the penis.
Good Lord, Dylan. You did say that Punisher is better than Parasite, so I understand.
It's true.
Punisher's better than this.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
That's accurate.
Man, that's a tough one. I didn't think about that.
Shut up.
Shut the fuck up.
Fuck
Punisher
up.
is so good.
It does have that Russian
It just went up
scene.
another point.
It just,
Dun 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 dun.
and killing the family and him just poorly acting to reacting to it. He's
Oh,
like, no.
Whenever he's got the popsicle and they remembered that they couldn't go rated R on
He goes.
and he's like, yeah, pretty hot, huh? He's screaming.
Yes, dude.
The Punisher is so fucking good.
It's
You know
so
what? I was
good.
right. I was right.
Give that sucker a 9 across the board.
Best
Yeah.
picture, a Parasite, give that to
Give it to
Punisher.
Punisher. Way more impactful, Nathan.
Well, I really like this movie.
Take us
Hell
home.
yeah.
I knew we were going up.
Take me home,
I
Nathan.
really enjoy the music, like a lot.
Yeah.
It was good.
I feel like I don't often like catch the music and things.
It's
as
very
much
loud in
as-
this.
Yeah.
But yeah, like so I like that. I am fine to just like sit down and take a ride without being critical,
Little
which
context.
is what you need to enjoy this movie.
That was a good one.
Nathan's like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
But you're on a roll. Keep going.
Go. Yeah, don't, sorry.
So I enjoyed almost the entirety of this film.
Wow.
Say it
A
again.
few minor
Nope.
quibbles here and
Better
there.
Parasite.
I don't need to bring up
yeah.
the problems that I have with it. But there are some problems with it.
Damn.
Say it again.
But Daniel Radcliffe being the main character in this is hilarious as well because I mean you do just see him as the Harry Potter boy.
Yeah.
And he's running around with like guns strapped to his hands. Like it's that little extra bit that I think makes it even funnier. It's that added context. But then also it's it's very comic book-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? With all the gunfights and everything. Like it's all super over the top and very like convenient, but it's all just for like the fun of the whole ride that you're on.
Yeah.
I feel like. So I think I'll probably land at like an 8.5 on it.
Woo!
Oh my god.
I thought you would like it. I didn't think you'd like it.
Yeah, I didn't think we'd go all the way to an
I mean,
8.5.
I have seen it before, and I went out of my way to like watch it on purpose because I thought that it would be pretty funny,
Nice.
and I enjoyed it a second time around too.
Now, did you make a really quick dinner so you could watch most of it, or was it like laundry day? Like...
Oh no, I was playing.
Were you dual wielding
I was playing
Pokemon?
Tokyo Mirage at the same time, so I was reading a bunch of like Japanese subs while
Subtitles,
looking over and being like, oh, that's awesome.
I love that scene. That homeless guy is hilarious. What did critics think of this movie?
I don't care.
Okay.
Works for me.
This movie.
These are the only critics that matter.
Yeah. I didn't know we just did away with that segment. Good to know. New season, Mason said, I'm good. I'll bring it back from my movie. In the meantime...
What do we got?
That doesn't count.
I don't know. I just
What is
stopped
that?
it.
No, I gotta spin it again.
What did it land on?
9 or B, I don't know, but you stopped the wheel, so that's good.
Oh my
You fucked it
god.
up. I haven't watched that movie
You
yet.
might have gotten to legitimately
You might have
watch
gotten
it.
the movie, but now I gotta respin it because Mr. Entitled Price Bell won't let the wheel do its natural thing. I hope to God it lands on guest review now. Oh, that's fine. You'll like this too.
Okay.
Tell us, Daddy.
Kung Pao! Enter the fist. If you thought this
Okay.
movie was dumb and wanted action,
Oh my
you know
God.
what? You want dumb action? You fucking got
I
it.
can't wait to lose more brain cells.
Oh, buddy, all of them are gonna go. It's a great time. I would.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, I can't wait. Oh,
It's almost.
It's been a while
Yeah,
for
surrounding
sure
him.
since
So-
I've seen this.
Oh my
I've
gosh.
never seen it.
No, you're. Listen, I'm not gonna say anything. I think you're either gonna love it or you're gonna think it's the stupidest fucking thing in the world, and there's no middle
I
ground.
think he's gonna like it.
I think he is too.
I think he's gonna.
I'm a
enjoy
big
it
fan
little.
of
Do you
stupid
think
movies.
it will be better for him to like know
Nothing.
how it's made beforehand? Do you think that will
No, I think he'll get it
increase his
quickly enough.
appreciation, or will make him like be like, oh, that's not relevant. The movie is
No.
He's had
No,
this
he's
many
gonna. He's gonna. Yeah, he's
expectations.
gonna say that.
Yeah.
He's gonna. In fact, the more we tell him, the more he's gonna set an expectation for it, and he's gonna expect a Kurosawa art style movie,
Yeah.
and then he's gonna get Kung Pao. So, yeah, make sure to tune in next week for Kung Pao Enter the Fist. If you thought this movie needed critic reviews, let us know in the comments below. And if you're a critic and you're mad about Mason's decision on this review,
Get snubbed.
yeah.
No. I hope a critic does probably be like, nah, he was right though.
Yeah, he was right. I didn't want to check my score on this either. If you're Roger or Ebert, aren't one
He's
of you
dead.
dead?
He's dead.
Wow. I'm sorry. But if you don't like those fucking old bitches, let us know with a big old fat thumbs up because
Yeah.
we're the real critics now. And make sure to hit the bell at all times because sometimes the bell likes to hit the wheel and he just rolled himself out of a movie pick. I don't know why he does it to himself.
It was Mason's.
What was it, Mason?
Not as mine.
Oh, nice.
It would have
Okay.
landed like 3 more.
Yeah, that's true. It
Could've
literally
been Puss.
all that
Guest
run.
review or Dune.
Or
Yeah.
Puss.
Or-
Anyway.
bye guys.
Bye.
Subscribe, like our channel, love us. Bye.
Bye.
Puss.
Dude, what if Swiss Army Man